In this episode, we're going to pick up where we left off in the last video and continue on with these doors. And yeah, don't worry about that. That's coming up in another episode. Let's go. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Rob's Garage. If this is your first time here, my name's Rob. This is my garage and this is my 1969 Australian Ford Falcon project, which I'm building myself. I don't have any trade skills. I'm just learning on the go. I'm a DIY guy. I just like to have a go myself and see how I go. Okay, so in this episode, we're going to be talking about where we picked up off last time. In the last episode, I showed you how I pulled the doors off and sandblasted and stripped them and fixed some rust and stuff like that. And basically what we're talking about is how I've got new door skins on here. Okay, so with the door skins, these are Rare Spares door skins. Basically I've pulled the original skins off and I've put a brand new skin on the original door frame. Now I don't have any video, unfortunately, because I had lost some footage and my hard drive crashed, so I just wanted to get the job done. You can see I've primed the doors in epoxy primer and I've actually put some body deadener in there. That's bully liner. I've epoxy primed inside the doors and put that bully liner in there. And yeah, I've got the doors finished. I've also worked on the hinges. All these hinges have been rebushed. So there's brand new bushes in there. I've got the Rare Spares kits, or the kits that come for the doors. So all the hinges have got new springs. Let me show you where that is. All the door hinges have got new springs. And you know, I've just got some primer and stuff on there, so they'll have to be redone, but yeah, everything's looking good. So the doors don't sag now. I'm pretty happy with the way the job worked. I might do things a little bit different when we do the other side. But anyway, enough talking from me. Let's get on with the footage from when I was doing this job. We'll see you there. All right, so I have been super busy with things. Other things that we're working on the Falcon is some door hinges. We're going to rebush this. Although this pin is too long. This is a rebush kit from Rare Spares, so that just doesn't look right. So I'm going to probably redo that one. I've still got to do the bottom hinge, so I've got to put new bushes and stuff in that one. That's for the rear door. And I have another one over here where I've got the other front hinges done. They've just got to be sprayed, which would be good. And yeah, I think that's mostly where we're at. We're just mostly going to work on the doors. Okay, so I'm just jumping in here just to give you an idea of what I had done. So this is the inside of the, looks like the rear door. That's after it's been epoxy primed. And here's the actual door frame, which was sanded all back. I sandblasted it and then coated it in, or done an epoxy primer and then coated it with bully liner. And I just kept the edge pretty much from getting bully linered, so I could fold that over a bit easier. Didn't know if it really mattered. So I didn't do that. And there's the, looks like the back door. You can see that's been bully lined on the inside as well, just to try to protect the metal. Now just to give you a quick look at the car and kind of what I've done, I've epoxy primed the whole left hand side here, except for that rear quarter, because I knew I'd be taking that off. And part of the roof there that I'd started sanding and I just got sick of trying to keep it from rusting. So I just tied it all up and then epoxy coated that. And also, yeah, like you can see here, we've got the engine bay. That's still going to be done. What I did do was I did cut out the battery tray because there's a bit of rust in there. So I don't know if I'm going to make a new panel or put a factory panel back in, but we'll see. This is all going to be sanded down and epoxy primed as well. I did do the front panel there. That's been epoxy primed as well. So yeah, overall, pretty happy with sort of how this is coming together. It's taken a bit longer than I would have liked, but you know, that's how it goes. This is the right-hand side. That guard's got to go. These doors got to be reskinned, and that, yeah, that panel, that wheel arch looks pretty good. This is the actual door with the skin on it. I don't think I've actually mounted it fully on the door, but you can get an idea what I was trying to do. Yeah, I'm really happy with kind of how the fitment of that panel was pretty good. Now to make this job a bit easier, do the door skins, I did get a couple of tools. One of them I didn't, or I tried to use a little bit, but I didn't really need to. And that is something to actually help you unpeel the door skin. And that is this tool right here, which is called the DS2000 by Astro Pneumatic Door Skin Remover Tool. So it's got like a little tool there that actually unpicks the doors, or not unpicks it, but undoes that pneumatically. It just helps you, get my head back in the shot, it just helps you automatically run along the door skin to help you get that off. It does also come with a little plier thing here. Might be hard to see in the bag, but that just helps you get the door skin started, unpick that with that, and then you can use that tool to run along that door skin and just undo the whole thing. Just take your time with it. But if you look at the last video, you'll see I used an angle grinder to do that. Now, the opposite tool to get the door skin back on is the DS1000, I think. This is DS1000 door skin tool. So this is the opposite tool to help you flatten the seam of the door. So you put your seam in there and you press your trigger, and yeah, it helps you get a nice flat surface of the door. I'll just give you a quick look at that. Okay, so these doors aren't completely finished, but here I've actually flattened it with this tool. Might be a bit hard to see, but I've got most of that flattened. There's a couple of bits that are hard to get into. The rest I'll do with a hammer, but all the way down here, it's actually been flattened with that tool, which worked really well. Okay, so I've been around the door a few times. There's still a bit more work to do before I can actually use the DS1000 tool. So I'll show you where I'm at right now, but it's basically just continuing to fold it over, going around and around and around, taking your time. I'm basically just stretching that slowly and not trying to fold it all flat in one spot too quickly. So just giving it time to position itself on the door skin. So let's have a little look. Okay, so you can see this is almost flat here. There's a few more challenging points like here where it's really kind of hard. So you can see I've kind of got this folded. I want to get this all flat all the way around. So you can see I'm pretty close to there. This here's got a bit more to go. You can see it's not quite all the way flat. It's basically like that all the way around. Just keep tapping it all the way around until it is flat. So there's a few bits that need a bit of work, but overall pretty happy with how it's coming along. We'll see how the whole thing fits when we're done, but it's really important to use, I bought these things, I think I just got them off eBay. Don't remember exactly what they were called, but essentially they're just a backing block that's made of rubber. You can just put under here. It's also got a curved surface, so it just stops you damaging the bottom of your panel. So just kind of sits there like that. You can hammer against it. There's some bits where this here will curve, so I usually just put the block in that corner. So anyway, I'm going to keep going around till this is flat now, and then we'll get the DS1000 tool. Okay, so I've got this kind of about as flat as I think I can get it, or pretty close to. I'm reluctant to hit this too much harder because it's easy to hit this. That's probably folded over enough. You can kind of see. It's kind of folded over enough, I think, where the crimping tool can do a good job at getting that flat. We should be able to do this edge pretty easy. So I'm going to set that up. I noticed like these corners might be a bit strange compared to factory. We'll see. Like this corner here is pretty open, but I don't know. I guess that's what you're going to get when you get aftermarket panels. So whether I do something for this corner, I don't know. We'll see later. But I'm going to see if I can get the tool on this corner here, and we can do this edge. Okay, so how this tool works is it's got this adjustable base here. So essentially when you activate this head here will move up and down against here. So we're gonna get the door skin in this gap. We can adjust it by undoing these Allen keys here, and we can find the gap that suits us. And then essentially when I press this, it'll just crimp the skin in between those two.
So have a little look how we go. Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay, so we've got most of this done. Some of this I'm going to do by hand. Like some of these areas are a bit hard to get a tool in there. That's fine, we can just do that by hand. But the rest where you can, I've got all this flattened out with the tool. There's a few bits where there's a crease or a curve or something underneath the body line. I'm doing that by hand. You can see it's all nice and flat here, so it's come up really good. We've got a nice join here. The other corner's not as good, but yeah, pretty happy with that. Just a little bit of finishing and it's all good. Okay, so that's been done. We're going to have a look at the other side of the door so you can see any damage on the door skin. So it's actually come up really good. Very minimal damage, if any. It's actually very hard to see anything, but I'm really happy with that. If there is anything, it's very minor. Let's have a little look. Now, I'm not sure how easy that is to see for you, but it's pretty good. I can't see any marks, maybe a few minor ripples, but that could be already on the door as part of the bending process, but I feel like that's pretty good. There's no real damage done, and anything that is there is, you know, a bit of skimmer filler and we'll have it sorted. Let's keep going. So today we're going to have a look at the quarter panel that is going to get replaced. Now when I say the quarter panel, I mean the whole quarter panel. So I'll give you an idea what I'm talking about. Alright, so not this side but the other side. So I've already started rubbing this side back. But essentially we're going to replace this panel from, on the opposite side, from where the lead joint is, all down this dog leg. Replace all that, all this back section, I think up to this joint here. And it's all in this box. So we're going to take this out now. We'll have a look. We'll have a good look at what's involved and what's part of this full quarter. Okay, so we have it out of the box and let's have a little look at what is part of the panel. So you've got this dog leg, which needed to be repaired. You've got the guard around the edge there, your full quarter panel, which I was going to replace, so I already had that piece. We're not going to be using it. Put it around the back, which is pretty much what that other quarter panel you can buy is. You've got around your tail light piece here, and then there's obviously a join along this section where that would stay as part of the original vehicle. Around this corner you have part of the, I guess probably the inner part of the rubber seal gutter, boot gutter. Got a look here. Got the inner panel here, inside the window, all the way down to there. We'll have a look at the inside of the panel here. Part of the inner guard.
dog leg up over here. And your piece where it mounts onto the roof.
So here is the panel that is going to get removed. You can see there is a lead joint in here. There will also be a join probably here. We can actually see there's a bit of a join there and a join there, so that'll have to come apart. And I think it comes around to about there. It'll also, I was originally going to do this, which I'd already cut off because that was damaged. It'll cover this whole section up here. Not sure how this works. It looks like there's a gutter in there that actually sits in over the top up to here. There is a join from this corner. Looks like it goes across to about there, so that's where the join is, and there's a piece that you can buy that replaces this whole corner. It'll fix this back section in here that's all corroded, but there will be a join partway up here. There is actually a lead filled joint in there, which is where the join will happen. It'll fix, it'll come around here, fix all the damage that's in here. The dog leg in the bottom section here, which joins to the sill. Obviously we have a bit of damage in this guard here, which I wasn't really happy with. So that'll basically replace this whole back section. I'll have to do a join across here, buy that piece so we can figure out where that cut needs to be. But I'm not really worried about this piece, but so we can just cut this off and there'll be a few spot welds and stuff to clean up. Then we can move to putting a new one on. It's also worth mentioning that the inside bucket here will stay. That actually is not part of the repair. So it's just this outside skin, or this inside bucket for the tail light would stay where it is. So it'll be interesting to see how much work we need to do to try to get that apart. Another day back in the garage. So many days go by in these videos because I don't get that much time. But anyway, we keep going. Whatever days are good days. Today's a nice day outside. So today I'm working on getting the XW left-hand side doors back on the car. So I have painted the hinges. I don't know if I've already showed this, paint the hinges, but I painted them in epoxy primer, and I've got 2 on the rear door so I can get it mounted just to see how it's fitting. Here's the rear door. As you can see, I've just mounted a couple of the hinges. Got to get back on the other side. Back onto this side. These are pretty basic because the plates are already there, so we'll just mount that back in there. Probably should take everything out of the back. Also should add, I've taken the filler out of the back, so we can prep to start taking this panel off. So I'll cut across here, and I'll have to sand this back to take the weld or the solder, lead filler, whatever you want to call it, out of there. But we want to get the back door on just to see how the new skin aligns, and then we've still got to do the driver's side door here. So yeah, we've got to get those hinges on, and there are some metal plates that sit up in there and in here that have to go in before we can get that on. So here we go. So there we have it. The hinges on. Obviously they probably need some adjustment, and they do need to be painted again because it was hard to get into some of these points, so they've got to come back off again. We can repaint them again, so all good. Let's get them on the car. So the doors have been hung onto the car, so I've actually gone through and put the hinges on, bolted them in, put the little plates in behind there. Let's have a quick look at how this looks. It's obviously not finished. There's still quite a bit of alignment to do, but they are sitting there, and haven't seen that like that for a while. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so here you can see the guard. This is not even bolted on. It's just sitting there. So again, a lot of the gaps and stuff will need to be re-looked at. So it's just kind of just sitting here right now. So you can see this gap obviously isn't great. There's still some issues with the alignment on the bottom, but I think that's just hinges. I've put this sitting in here because it's not lining up properly yet, and again, that's just going to be hinge alignment. But yeah, overall pretty happy to see some doors on the car. So you can just see they're just sitting in there, and all the hinges have been rebushed, so I'll have to get the latches and everything back on the door so I can close those, get some the rubber around the door. So you can see here the alignment's terrible. So there's still a bit of work to do here, and this is actually really close if you look here. So yeah, still a bit of work to do. Next thing will be to cut this quarter panel off. You can see I've already started taking the solder / lead, whatever is in there, so we can take this quarter off. I'll work on this back bit, and yeah, we'll be good to go. Well, there we have it. That's everything for this episode. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stick around. We'll try and get another one up soon. As soon as I have something interesting to show you. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.